maybe we can talk about what are the essentials, like what makes this important, effectual, what makes this different than just a little text group goofing off. And I guess if it's essential, then if it went away, the group would either cease or not be the same thing. Mm-hmm. So what's important about our group?
I think something we've mentioned in 2 episodes now is trust, right?
Yeah.
It takes time to build trust. So I think time is essential. And then it takes some time to build trust. Because if you don't trust the people that you're talking these things out, if you think, if I say this and this person's just going to go tell the world about how I feel about this, like that's a full stop.
Yeah. And I think to go along with trust, also vulnerability is a key as well. You've got to be willing to take a step out onto the water, right?
Yeah, right.
And see how it's going to work out.
Way to make it biblical, Jeremiah.
Yeah, there you
Good
go.
job.
But I think we would say that didn't happen right away.
No. It takes time.
I mean, that's the time element,
the time
right?
and trust,
you can't, I don't know, you can't. Some people can.
Yeah,
I don't think our group could all of a sudden jump in all of that at one time like we have now. I think some of us, I will say myself, I probably would have got a little shaky and said, no, I'm out. Because there wasn't that time and that trust in order for me to feel that this was that space. So I think the time is very important.
Absolutely.
I think so too. I think also the speed at which we're able to connect back to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, in other small groups, it's once a week.
Yeah.
And I have to try to remember, I need to make sure I tell the guys about such and such, or I need to remember that this happened, or I need to ask them for help, or whatever else. With this group, it's instantaneous. Well, after you listen to Jeremiah drone on and on and on.
Jeremiah's the one that drones on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean, you have to get through that. But anyway, all that to say that the ability to say today what's going on, and the ability to hear back, I got you, we're praying for you, or I don't know, I don't think, give you something, a different way to think about it. So the quickness of the turnaround helps at least this group.
I think we should probably have mentioned to the people that are listening that like we don't meet every Wednesday at 4:00 or something like that. That doesn't happen. We use, I think we had mentioned a couple episodes, we had used text. We were texting each other. And then somebody had told me about this app called Marco Polo, which is just a video text where you can record a short video and you post it and to a group, and only the people in that group can see it. And I think that has been, if you will, the bread and butter for this, because there is no formalized, let's meet at 4:00 on Wednesday.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think people would be surprised how often we communicate. Sometimes I am.
Yeah.
If you go on, we've all had this, you go on a trip, right?
Yeah.
You get on a plane, you get a car, you get wherever, and it's been 12 hours, 16 hours, and you've got how many conversations we get?
More than 20.
More than 20
Who has
conversations.
the record? Who has the record for the most unlistened to
you
Marco
do.
Polos?
Probably Jay.
Is it me?
Yeah, I'm sure it's you.
Yeah.
Never mind. Forget that question.
Because you said you've gotten, like,
I
you've
haven't
let it
gotten
go
up.
for like a week and it's been 60, 70 deep.
But I think John got up to like 100.
No.
Or was it Cam?
That's urban.
One of you did.
I remember a
Myth.
time when it was around 80.
Yeah,
It was,
maybe so.
You get busy
But
with
all of
something.
that to say, I mean, I think people would be surprised how often we talk to each other. Like on the way in, throughout the day, not as much, but on the way in, on the way back from work, from activities. Certainly when something significant is going on in one of our lives, we're all kind of pushing into that and trying to support and help. So to your point, it's so very important that this communication feels like this, right? Just like this. It feels like this daily.
And that's what's so helpful about it, is because like you can watch those Marco Polo, those videos, video text at your own convenience.
Yeah.
When you're riding home from work, when you're out walking the dog or something like that. And then you're able to just record something really quick and post back, and that person can answer it in their time. So I think that's,
You're right.
It's helpful that we were all in the same place for 1 year, and now we're all scattered to the wind, but the group is still going like we're in the same place because of the way that technology's made it possible.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because there's an unavailability also. We're all extremely busy.
Absolutely.
So if I were to say, hey, I got something I need y'all real quick, I might get one of you, but I might get none of you. So the ability to just throw something on there to know it's picked up in just a little bit is helpful. I think the other thing that is essential is courage. It's still, even
good.
though we know each other, again, we know each other as dudes. We just know each other as guys. So it still takes courage. Even now, sometimes I have said, and I hear from you guys sometimes, hey, I got something I need to share. Not ready yet. I'm still thinking it through, and whatever. Yeah. But I just kind of priming the pump. Pray for me, kind of a thing. Not because we don't trust each other. Just I'm still sorting it through. But it takes courage to say, can I share with you what's going on? Or I need your prayer. Or I need to think this through. Or am I sideways here? So it takes courage to begin to put that out there.
Well, and the other great thing is kind of the follow-up that we have as well. This is a kind of a daily routine for me anyways. When I get up in the morning, drop my daughter off at school, I'm driving into the office, hit play on Marco Polo, listen to all the messages. And if I don't respond back within like a day or so, like one of you guys is texting me or calling me and saying, hey, like, just checking on you.
Are you dead?
Yeah.
Did we do something to offend you?
Yeah. Sure. And so that to me has really kind of even elevated what we do as well. Just that added sense of accountability. Boom. And just
There's
checking
the word,
on one another.
Right. There's that word accountability, I think, is essential. It comes from trust. But I think we talked about that switch for me, I mentioned this last episode, when it was where somebody was able to hold me accountable for something. If I had an opinion or said something and somebody was like, well, hold up, man, that's when I think discipleship starts to happen. That's an essential for us, right? Is that getting to a place where people can speak and you let people speak in your life, things that you maybe don't want to hear.
For me, I think that one of the essentials is to try not to conform our activities. And maybe for a discipleship guru like Cam, this may be not right? But in my mind, it's not conforming my activities into a structure of discipleship, but rather it's conforming a structure of discipleship into my life, right?
Yeah.
That's the essential. For me, for this to be long-term like it has for 7 years, it couldn't have been, okay, every Wednesday even if we're going to do it when we're in different places, every Wednesday at 7:30 in the morning, we're going to meet together for an hour. That's a model that's effective. But for us, with the changes that happen, and I think it's more important, one of the essentials is that this is long-term and not just like we're going to do this for a year. And then for me, the essential aspect of this is you've traveled with me for 7.5 years now. So you know me much better and I know you much better. But in order for that to happen, it had to be essential that whatever we did conformed to the nuance of our lives, not vice versa.
I think to a point. I mean, I also think though that there are discipleship methods that would work very well for that weekly aspect, and maybe for a different outcome, a different effect. But it has helped us for our group, and it's helped us to stay together, and it's helped us to challenge each other. At the same time, I can recall, you talk about the switch, I can recall some things, I believe it was some of what you brought back when you went to International Training College, and Matt picked up on, I believe, beginning to converse with the rest of us about John Wesley's questions and then Booth's questions, and started that for a little while, just kind of working through one of these really challenging questions per day. So while it wasn't we're going to do this and this is what you do, still that question prompted in the morning about how is what's happening in your soul, what's the secret that you wish you didn't have to share. Those kinds of things to be able to say, who are we really if we want to get down to business with being true disciples? Yeah. So some of that was an essential. It helped us kind of turn the corner also to go, this is for real. We're not just goofing off, and we're not just making prayer requests. We're really saying, what is happening in my life, and what am I challenged with?
You guys spoke of accountability. I want to make sure people hear that. Yeah, we've talked a lot about how relaxed and how much fun we have, all of that. And now we're hearing kind of the other side. And one of those key elements, we went through Booth's questions. Matt asked the question, right? A very soul-searching, very hard question. So once a week. And now what we're on now is every Monday morning, we get the same question, right? Yeah. You share what questions you give us every Monday.
Yeah, every Monday morning. The question is like, where are you in the Word, right? If you haven't been reading the Word, tell us why. And not in an accusatory way, but in how can we pray for you and help you get the time or do what you can to get into the Word each day. Where are you in the Word? What truth is in there that you need to share with us? What can we be praying for you for? It's just spiritual discipline questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's helped us move deeper is the time that we got together.
Yeah.
That weekend we got to
The
spend
one
together.
time.
The one
In
time
7
in 7
years.
years, we got together, and but no, that was a great time because that was a time that we still had fun, we still did some things, relaxed, but we were very intentional about going deeper in the Word and with one another.
Yeah,
and Cam brought those great questions and kind of helped navigate that time for us. But I think that was one of the keys that has helped us to get to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
It's important for, I think, again, the listeners to hear, like, we've done 7.5 years we've been doing this. We have been in person, the 4 of us together in person. I think this is our second time being in the same room together.
4 of us at one time.
Yeah, the 4 of us being in the same room at the same time in 7.5 years. It's only the twice. And us trying to find...
Once we all left.
Yes.
Once
trying to find a time, we had this, like, we call it a discipleship weekend. I guess that's not, was it?
Oh, yes, it was. Yeah, it was a discipleship weekend.
there was a smoker involved.
Yeah.
It was.
No, it definitely was.
Just think like how long it took us to get that on the schedule where it lined up with, we're all busy people trying to find a weekend where the 4 of us were free, and you had to be intentional about making it happen.
Yeah.
I think that, so I wouldn't put that necessarily in the essential category.
Right.
It was very helpful. I enjoyed it. I think we went deeper as a group, right? More open with each other as a group. Really, some things came out that we were able to pray for each other with, had a wonderful time together. But I think we had those elements already.
Yeah.
That just brought it
sure.
face
Just gave
to
more
face.
opportunity.
It did. And we've talked about doing it again, but we talked about doing that one for like 3 or 4 years.
I know. Yeah. We'll get 2028, man.
Got on the books.
Yes.
Assuming we all make it till then.